Ashes of Eternity. Part 2. The Name from the Past. Night fell quietly over the academy. Crystals along the pathways shimmered with a soft glow, lighting the way for lone students hurrying about their business. I stood by the dormitory window, watching the towers drown in moonlight. Everything here whispered of the past. Even the moon looked the same, the one beneath which I died. I couldn't rid my mind of her gaze. Lyriel, too similar, too familiar. The same calm intellect, the same quiet resolve in her eyes. If I didn't know Liara was dead, I would have sworn it was her. I opened the book the old man had given me. On the cover, the faded letters read, "Legends of the Eternal Ones." As I turned the pages, I saw the names of those who had fallen with me. Each name echoed through me. Once they were my friends, my enemies, my students. Now, mere lines in a textbook. Then I found a sentence circled in ink. The apprentice of the mage Arin, known as Liara, perished but left behind a seal of memory, a fragment of her soul bound within the arcane of time. A fragment of soul. I froze. Impossible. If that were true, if someone managed to retrieve that fragment, she could have been reborn, not as human, but as an echo. A shadow carrying her shape and will. I closed the book and clenched it in my hands. Could Lyriel truly be her? At dawn, I went to the library, the one that housed the old arcanes. Amid endless shelves and the ringing silence of the air, she stood there, the same girl, Lyriel. She turned toward me as if she already knew I would come. "You were looking for me," she said. "Yes." "Why?" "Because your name isn't yours." She looked me straight in the eyes. "And yours?" I didn't answer. There was no fear in her gaze, only expectation, as if she knew who I was, but wanted to hear it from me. "I found a text," she continued. "It speaks of a mage who returned through the seal of time. That his death was not the end, but the beginning. And you believe that?" "I feel it. When you're near, the air changes. Spells react differently. Maybe it's your imagination." "Maybe," she said softly. "But if I'm right, then you're the one who created all of this. And destroyed it," I added. She stepped closer. "Why did you return?" "I don't know. Maybe to understand why I died, silence hung between us, only the whisper of dust between the books." She studied my face for a long time, as if searching for confirmation in the lines of my features. "You know," she said at last, "I was named Lyriel because in my family it meant protection." "Protection?" "Yes. In the old tongue it means the one who guards the star." The star! The word pierced my memory. Once, I had given Liara an amulet shaped like a star. I told her, "Let it protect you when I no longer can." The world spun. A flash, light, blood, her smile before everything collapsed. I stepped back. "What's wrong?" she asked. "Nothing. Just old shadows I wanted to leave." But she took my hand. Her fingers were cold, yet within that cold, there was life. "If you truly seek the truth," she said, "come tomorrow to the lower levels of the academy, to the archive of time. But be careful, not everyone wants the past to awaken." I nodded. Her hand slipped from mine, and I felt something stir inside me again, something long dead. When I returned to my room, the sky was already darkening. The wind carried the scent of an approaching storm. I knew tomorrow everything would change. A name from the past had returned, and with it, the very thing I tried to forget. "Liara, Lyriel, whoever you are, you're leading me once more to where the end begins." Beneath the academy, there was always silence. Too deep, too perfect to be mere absence of sound. That silence listened. We walked down a narrow corridor, lit by rare, pale crystals. Cold, dim, almost lifeless. Lyriel walked ahead, her steps confident, as if she had been here before. "No one must know we're going down," she said quietly. "The archive of time is sealed. Even the teachers are forbidden to enter. Why? Because it holds what must never be remembered." With every step, the air grew denser. I could feel the magic. Old, viscous, woven into the stone long before this academy was built. It knew my name. Each breath I took carried a whisper from the dark. Arin. At the end of the corridor stood a door. Not stone, alive. The symbols on its surface shifted, as if breathing. It's a seal, said Lyarel. Without the key, it won't open. Do you have the key? She drew a silver star-shaped amulet from beneath her collar. Painfully familiar? That amulet? Yes, it's been in my family for generations. They say it once belonged to a mage who died under the stars. I couldn't help but smile. A strange coincidence. She pressed the amulet to the center of the door. The air trembled. Symbols flared softly, and the door slowly opened. Inside, darkness, but not emptiness. The moment I stepped in, I felt time flow differently. Every movement echoed, not in sound, but in memory. Shelves, books, sealed arcana, crystal spheres. Everything breathed with the past. What are we looking for? I asked. The trace of your name. If you truly are who I think you are, it should be here, in the chronicles of the ancient times. We stopped before a massive table where a black leather-bound tome lay. On its cover, a mark that sent a chill through my body. My own seal. That's impossible, I whispered. I sealed this book myself, the day before I died. Then who opened it? Lyarel asked. Before I could answer, a wind swept through the hall. Books shivered, their pages turned on their own. From the shadows rose a figure, neither human nor spirit, woven from ash and light, and its voice sounded like the groan of time itself. The breaker of the seal has returned. I stepped forward. Who are you? The keeper. I stand between past and present. You should not exist, Arin the Eternal. I did not ask to return, and yet you have. That means the debt is not yet paid. The darkness thickened. Lyarel stepped back, clutching the amulet. The keeper raised his hand. The air trembled and turned into blades. I raised mine. Instinct. The old power, long asleep within me, awoke. The air thickened, light shifted, runes flared across my skin, familiar, forgotten. A moment later, space itself tore open in a burst of light. The keeper was thrown back. I stood, breathing heavily. A flame burned within my chest, an ancient mark that should no longer exist. My power had returned, at least a part of it. Lyarel stared at me, eyes wide. That's ancient magic! It vanished centuries ago. No, I said. It merely waited to be remembered. The keeper dissolved into ash, leaving behind only a faint whisper. If the past awakens, time will fall. We were alone again. I closed the book and took it in my hands. Now I know who brought me back. Who? The one who wants time to move backward again. She frowned. You think it's someone from the academy? No, someone older than the academy itself. Someone who remembers what existed before light. I looked at the book. On its cover, faint but familiar, words flared. The first name never dies. And I understood. My story had not yet begun. After that night, the academy changed. No one knew we had been in the archive, yet the air itself betrayed the secret. The glow of the crystals dimmed. Mirrors in the corridors began to reflect not the present, but memories. Some students complained of whispers in their sleep. Others vanished for a time, only to return with no recollection of where they'd been, and I could feel it had all begun because of me. Every time I opened the book we found in the archive, its pages changed. Words appeared and vanished, written as I read them. Memory does not belong to the living. It chooses those who dared to die. One line said, I understood. It was a warning. But it was already too late. Lyarel had changed too. Quiet, focused, she spoke less and less, yet her silences grew heavier, as if she heard voices I could not. Sometimes, when I looked at her, I noticed her eyes flicker for a heartbeat. They became the color I remembered from Liara, sky blue, almost transparent, and then they returned to their familiar silver. Do you feel it? She asked one evening. We stood on the balcony of the academy. The wind smelled of ash, though nothing burned. Feel what? Time. It's flowing wrong. Sometimes I see fragments, pieces of the past happening now. I see faces I don't know, but they call me by name. Lyra? No, she whispered. Lyra! I said nothing. The name hung between us like a forbidden spell. That night, I couldn't sleep. The book lay on my desk, rustling softly as if someone was turning its pages from within. I opened it. The text had changed again. When memory awakens, the ashes will rise. When the ashes rise, the world must choose whom to keep. In that instant, the room filled with the scent of ozone and dust. A shadow flared before me, the silhouette of the keeper I had defeated in the archive. He was weaker now, and his voice echoed as if from a great distance. You disturbed the silence. The seal of time no longer holds. Who broke it? You did. You and she whose soul is divided. The shadow faded, leaving behind a trace of ash. I touched it, and the world trembled. For a moment, I was there again in my past, amid the burning city, beneath a sky on fire, where stars fell like dying embers. I saw Lyra, alive. She stood at the edge of the ruins, surrounded by light that was already fading. Aaron, she said, if you can hear me, don't come back. Let time move without us. I reached for her, but the flames devoured everything. When I came to, I was on the floor. Lyra stood in the doorway. You were screaming, she said. I came to check. I couldn't speak. How could I explain that I had just witnessed my own death again? What's happening, Aaron? Your name, I said. It isn't truly Lyra, is it? She flinched. I don't remember. Sometimes when I sleep, I see stars. And someone beside me whispers my real name. But when I wake, it's gone. I stepped closer. It's not just a dream. Your soul carries an echo, a fragment of the past that should not have survived. Then you know who I am? I think I do, but if I tell you, you'll stop being yourself. She lowered her gaze. Then don't tell me. Just help me remember. We stood in silence for a long time. In the distance, thunder rolled slow, hollow, like the breathing of an ancient world. I felt the ashes of the past seeping into the present. Every whisper, every flicker of light, echoes of what we once destroyed. I looked up at the sky. It was filled with stars, yet between them ran a thin, trembling crack of light, moving, alive. And I understood. It wasn't the sky that had fractured, it was time.